The chirps are the first warning. Not the melodic calls of the dawn singers, but sharp, percussive clicks that slice through the morning air like flint striking flint. They echo from the low scrub on the clan's flank, a sound that speaks of coordinated death. The long-stride clan of Australopithecus does not pause to think. Thought is a luxury paid for in blood. They simply run. Their long arms swing, knuckles brushing the dry earth. Their powerful legs eating up the ground in a shambling, desperate gait that is the very signature of their kind. This is the rhythm of their existence, the unforgiving drumbeat of prehistoric life set by the sickle claw and the hunting pack. The old tales, grunted and signed around a meager fire, do not speak of a time before humans were prey, for in their world, that time has not yet come. Behind them, the Velociraptors flow through the ferns. They are not the hulking monsters of a nightmare, but sleek, feathered engines of destruction, no taller than a hominid child but infinitely faster. They move with a terrifying lateral intelligence, one pack fanning out to cut off the path to the tree line while another pushes from behind, herding their quarry toward the open killing ground of the salt flat. A young male, brave and foolish, turns back, brandishing a heavy stick. He emits a loud threat bark, a display of dominance that works on his own kind. The lead raptor simply lowers its head, accelerates, and leaps. The sickle claw, a 6-inch shard of home keratin, does its work. The male's bark becomes a wet gurgle, and the clan runs harder, the scent of their own kin's blood sharp in their nostrils. They are driven from their territory from the familiar stream and the berry bushes into the badlands. It is a place of cracked earth and strange, intimidating shapes, the fossilized skeletons of creatures that ruled this world million years ago. Now monuments to a time when even the dinosaurs knew masters. The sun is a merciless hammer. The young and the old begin to fall back, their endurance failing. A mother, carrying an infant on her back, stumbles. Before she can fall, the old matriarch, her face a roadmap of scars and survival, grabs her arm, pulling her along. They are a chain and the raptors are intent on breaking every link. This is the crucible of hominid history, a frantic, terrified scramble away from extinction. Then they see it. A hill, but it is not a hill of stone and earth. It is a dome of bone and armor, a silent, unmoving behemoth lying half buried in the arid soil. An Ankylosaurus, long dead, its clubbed tail still resting where it fell seasons ago. Cautious of this unfamiliar obstacle, slow their pursuit, their intelligent eyes wary. The clan, seeing their only chance, scrambles toward the immense carcass, huddling in the shadow of its impenetrable hide, the sunlight glinting off the fused plates of bone. The thick, keratinous osteoderm is that even in death seemed to defy the teeth of the world. The sun beats down on the bone dome, and the air shimmers with heat and the stench of decay. For hours, the long-stride clan remains pressed against the cool, shaded side of the dead Ankylosaurus, a silent blow of exhaustion and fear. The Velociraptors do not leave. They patrol the perimeter, their sharp clicks a constant, unnerving reminder of the siege. Their patience is a weapon as potent as their claws. The clan's water is gone, and the salt fat offers no sustenance. They have traded a running death for a stationary one. This moment, a pause between two forms of extinction, is a fulcrum upon which the fate of these human ancestors will turn. It is the old matriarch who breaks the paralysis. She rises on her stiff legs and hobbles to the great corpse. She runs a gnarled hand over the bony plates, then points a finger not at the horizon, not at a path of escape, but at a ragged wound in the creature's underbelly, where some earlier scavenger had failed to pierce the thick hide completely. Then she points at the huddled clan. She repeats the gesture. In. The idea is so alien, so contrary to every instinct that screams of avoiding the dead, that the clan only stares. To them, a corpse is a warning, a place of predators and disease. But one young male, the same one whose brother was taken in the chase, understands. He sees not a tomb, but a cave of bone. He picks up a heavy, sharp-edged stone, a piece of flint that is the pinnacle of their tool-making, and approaches the carcass. The smell is a physical blow, a wall of putrescence that makes him gag. He forces himself forward, driven by the memory of the sickle claw. He jams the stone into the torn flesh and begins to saw. It is a gruesome, clumsy act of archaeology, an excavation of a different kind. Others, seeing his purpose, join him. This is the birth of a new kind of primitive technology, not for hunting but for creation. They use heavy cobbles to break ribs and sharp flakes of chert to sever leathery sinew, their grunts at exertion mixing with the wet, tearing sounds of their work. The work is a descent into hell. They toil in the suffocating heat, smeared with gore, dragging out ropes of intestine and great slabs of rotting muscle. The infants weep from the stench, and the raptors outside grow agitated by the scent of fresh viscera being piled near the opening. One dashes in, a feathered blur of avarice, only to be met by two males, who swing heavy femurs, driving it back with crushing blows. They are learning, a turning point in hominid history is not a grand battle, but this a desperate, filthy act of collective will. As the sun sets, casting long, skeletal shadows across the land, the interior of the giant is hollowed out. It is a dark, foul-smelling cavern, but it is a fortress. For the first time, these early humans do not have to climb a tree or find a cave to feel a sliver of safety. They have made it themselves. They huddle inside, a small flicker of hominid ingenuity encased in the armor of a fallen monster, listening to the frustrated screeches of the hunters circling their unbreakable shell. Dawn breaks not with birdsong, but with the scrape of a claw on bone. The clan inside the shell is awake, their bodies tense, their knuckles white around stones and sharpened femurs. The Velociraptors, having tested the clan's fear all night, now test their fortress. The Alpha, a scarred veteran with one milky eye, directs the assault with a series of sharp, guttural barks. Two raptors rush the main opening, a feint designed to draw the defenders out. But the clan does not take the bait. The matriarch gestures and two of the largest males slam a massive shoulder blade into the opening, a crude but effective door. The raptors recoil, screeching in frustration. This is a new kind of hunt, a problem they cannot solve with speed and claw. The pack changes tactics. They begin to scale the great dome of the Ankylosaurus. Their claws find purchase in the sutures between the bony plates, their feathered bodies weary and impossibly agile. For a moment, it seems the fortress will be their tomb after all, the high ground taken by the enemy. Inside, a panic begins to ripple through the clan. Then the young innovator, his eyes wide with a terrifying idea, acts. He grabs a long, splintered rib bone he has been sharpening, finds a narrow gap between two of the armored scutes above his head, a space where the flesh has rotted away, and thrusts upward. A raptor on the roof shrieks a high, piercing sound of pain and surprise as the bone spear impales its foot. It tumbles from the shell, and the others on the roof scatter. This is the turning point, the moment the shield becomes a weapon. This is the raw material of a dinosaur documentary that could never be filmed, a forgotten dinosaur battle that reshaped the future. The alpha raptor is enraged. Its intelligence, now thwarted twice, gives way to fury. It lets out a piercing shriek, a command for a full, coordinated assault on the main opening. The door of bone will not hold. The clan braces for the final rush. As the pack charges, one old male, he steps into the breach, holding not a weapon but a massive curved rib shield. He plants his feet, a lone bastion of defiance. The first raptor leaps, and he catches the impact on the bone, the force throwing him back but holding the line. A second raptor slashes around the shield, its sickle claw tearing deep into his leg. He does not scream. He roars a sound of pure defiance, and shoves the attacker back into the press. Behind him, the others use this precious moment, jabbing with their spears of bone, turning the entrance into a deadly funnel. The dinosaur fight becomes a meat grinder. Are not made for this war of attrition. After losing to more of its pack, the alpha makes the call. Its creatures a retreat, and the feathered tide recedes, leaving their dead behind. The siege is over. The ancient humans inside the shell, bleeding and exhausted, have won. The silence that follows is heavier than the siege itself. The long stride clan huddles in their sanctuary of bone, the scent of victory mingling with the copper tang of their own blood. Looking out through the breach, they see not just an empty plain, but a world remade. They are no longer just scavengers fleeing from shadow to shadow. They are settlers. This fortress, this piece of audacious, desperate engineering is more than a shelter. It is a statement. It is the first defiant anchor of consciousness in a world that expected them to be nothing more than food. The intellectual leap required to see a corpse not as an ending but as a beginning is the single greatest step in their human evolution. This brutal act of repurpose-swapping a dead monster is the genesis of architecture, of strategy, of community defense. It is the first war ever raised by hominid hands against the chaos of the prehistoric world, a declaration that intelligence, not just tooth and claw, now has a place at the table of survival. Their struggle is a forgotten echo of our own, a testament to the fact that civilization began not with a grand vision, but with the desperate, bloody-minded refusal to simply die. This is the chronicle of the deep past where the echo of a claw on bone is the rhythm of life itself. And in the mists of the northern swamps, a different kind of intelligence watches, its gaze holding a coldness that bone cannot repel.